Hello, welcome. You're watching Business Day. This is Aastha Chopra. Well, today we have very special guest with us, Mr. Mark Pilgrim, who is the MD CEO of Jio BlackRock Investment Advisory, and we have Hiren Shah, the head of investments for the same. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. It is a privilege to have it on our channel. Let's start with the top news for today. Mark, I'll start with you. How does this investment advisory platform fit into the financial larger in the Jio segment? How will it help the audience?
Great, thank you for having us, Aastha. I'm going to talk about how it fits within the broader industry, if that's okay. And Jio Financial Services is part of the industry as a financial services provider. But I think that when you think about the investment industry in India, you've got a very vibrant asset management industry and a very nascent wealth management industry. And when you think about how people invest in India, you realize that there is a gap in terms of having fiduciary advice, someone who can help and guide people through making the right decision for them to achieve their dreams. And this is why the Jio BlackRock Investment Advisor was created, the wealth management company was created. We truly believe that everyone should have access to fiduciary advice. We offer fiduciary advice. We have removed what I'm going to call the natural barrier to entry that you have associated with fiduciary advice, which is both the level at which people need to come and the price point. So if I think of people in India, anyone who has 10,000 rupees to invest can come and work with us, which is a very, very low price point for advisory. And the price point has been set at either 350 rupees a year or 0.35% if you actually are looking at getting advice on over 1 lakh rupees. So both of these barriers for entry have been removed, and this is how we fit in the industry. We want to help to create fiduciary advice through the wealth manager for everyone in India to have access to someone who can help to guide them through the complexities of financial markets.
Well, easier for the investments as well. Hiren, coming to you, let's talk about products. What kind of products will we see in this advisory as investments?
Yeah. So Aastha, if we just take a step back and let people understand that this is not a product. What we are launching is not a product. It's advice, right? People over time have been conditioned to think about buying products, and buying products after products doesn't create a portfolio. What we want to move towards is a state where people understand the benefits of having a holistic portfolio-based advisory platform where clients look at their risk profile, clients provide their financial objectives, and then based on that, we come up with something called as asset allocation. Now, asset allocation is very, very important because all the research globally has highlighted the fact that 80 to 90% of investor returns over time come through the right asset allocation, which is having the right mix of different assets. It doesn't stop there. Within that asset allocation, what is the right level of diversification? What is the right level of different building blocks you use to create those portfolios? And most importantly, what do you do once you have done that is to continuously monitor those portfolios, whether you are still in line with your targets or not. If not, then you need to rebalance your portfolio. So entire journey from understanding the client's risk profile to figuring out the right asset allocation for them, the right building blocks for them, doing it on a regular basis in terms of the monitoring and the rebalancing, all using the power of technology, and to be able to do that and communicate in a simple and a transparent manner is how you should think about the entire proposition. So it's not like product. It's like an entire whole portfolio-oriented solution.
I'm going to add to this if that's okay, which is you've got an investment product, which is what Hiren has aptly described here. But I want to make sure that it's clear that we cater both for existing investors and for people who have not invested yet and who are hesitating, who are a bit afraid, who don't really understand. And so if you take a look at what we've developed and what is currently available in the app, you do have what was all described here, which is we take people through a questionnaire, which is a very easy to understand and very friendly questionnaire, and a very short one, to understand their risk appetite and to help them to understand their risk appetite and their risk capacity, not only the willingness, but the capacity. What is going to be their behavior when markets move? What is going to be their preferences? We map that with an asset allocation, which is going to be more linked to life goals and life changes. And, what is your dream? What is you're trying to achieve? Because most people in the end, they don't think in terms of returns. They don't think, the people that have never invested, They don't think in terms of portfolios and building blocks. And this is all the things that we as, actors in the financial industry, we love and we live and we breathe. But most people think differently. And so we've taken, through the customer journey, a slightly different approach to the financial product. But there's also, for the people who currently invest, what we have called the wealth checkup, which is something that enables them. And that's one of, in a way, it's a feature, it's a functionality, but it's also part of our product. It's how we put the power of Aladdin, which is our risk management and investment engine, in the pocket of every single Indian. People giving us the consent to pull the account aggregator information. We basically take all of the information, we put it through our investment engine, and we give them feedback on whether they've done well or not well, compared to the risk appetite they have. Do they have the right asset allocation? Do they have enough fixed income? Not enough fixed income. Too much equity? Not enough equity. Are they over-allocated in a particular sector? Is there an over-diversification? In other words, could they actually achieve the same outcome with having funds like index funds, which would be a lot cheaper and still would give them the same outcome as they have right now, etc., etc., etc. Are they paying too much? Should they actually consider different share classes for the funds that they have invested? So that's all part of the products that we're offering for people who already invest. Part of our product as well is the Learn Hub, is the platform that we've put together. I'm going to call it, it's Finance 101 to 301. It's for people who are interested in financial markets and have many questions, many basic questions, don't know where to find the answers. People that have been following the evolution of financial markets, people that have been following a few people that have maybe gave them advice or tips or things, and they would like to put in a perspective. Through our Learning Hub, through our Learn Hub, we have a number of interactions through video, gamified, where they can learn and they can actually grow, and we take them through the journey that an investor should take. So it's a really a holistic platform, I would say, which, to your point, is an investment product. There's a learning components. There's a series of tools which are extremely sophisticated sophisticated investment tools for people to use and to become better at investing.
Well, now that's interesting. That's a headline sort of a thing, a wealth checkup. That's very interesting. You talked about all the assessments. Can you tell us more about what is your target audience for the same? Is this a retail investors or a long-term investments? What kind of audience are you looking for?
Wealth management is it's a long-term proposition. Okay, I mean, some people trade. Now, you take a look at the stats, and there's 215 million demat accounts in India, and 90% of which actually have lost money at some point by trading F&O, and very often it's linked to the lack of understanding of risk and the drawdown that they actually could face, which sometimes leads to not so happy situations. I would say that our universe as a wealth manager should be the 200 million people that have a demat account. Now, I realize that spans a lot of client segments. When you think about what we've created and what we've designed and what we're commercializing today, it is more of an affluent, mass affluent kind of platform for people that do not have access to a financial advisor in the traditional way, a high-touch financial advisor. So they need the guidance, and we are there to offer them with that guidance. But the truth is, what we've designed applies equally to high net worth. High net worth individuals in many markets have adopted the kind of product that we're launching here through our wealth management company. They've adopted it because they've realized that for the core of their portfolio, for a lot of the investments that they have in public markets, it's a very efficient way of getting an asset allocation and getting someone to monitor it and getting someone to tell you the markets have moved, you should really move your money here or there. And then keep maybe a higher value add, high touch relationship for a satellite part of the portfolio, which is going to be more in the private market, for example, or any other kind of product that they may have an interest. This is how people should look at it. This is how people will start to look at it. This is what we've seen in other markets. So it's a mass affluent, high net worth, around 200 million people who currently invest, have a demat account, and have an enthusiasm about financial markets.
Well, you have taught us how to invest in 1 minute. So it's a very educationary answer you just gave us. Before I let you go, both of you gentlemen, just one question. Can you tell us much briefly about Aladdin, the function which will less and less interfere with human during the investments for the people? So can you highlight on that?
Again, so good you brought out Aladdin, because it's central to what Mark mentioned in terms of whether it's the wealth checkup or the way we monitor the portfolios and the rebalancing, etc. But if I take a step back in terms of when we think about the whole advisory proposition, It's not that it's a magical AI-led technology does everything for you. It's a human-first approach, which is we have like a proper investment team which analyzes the markets, the products, what is the right portfolio for clients. Now, to enable all the analysis, the analytics, you of course want to use best-in-class tools. Aladdin is one of those best-in-class tools which is proprietary to BlackRock. Aladdin is used globally by the biggest wealth managers, by the biggest institutional clients globally. And it's fundamentally important to understand that when you have like a holistic portfolio, you want to consider everything in totality. It's not like a product by product approach, it's the entire portfolio. Aladdin has this unbelievable capabilities of aggregating lot of data from global markets, from local markets across different asset classes. And when you overlay it with like the advisory proposition which we have, where we monitor client portfolios on an ongoing basis, it just makes it a very powerful tool for people to have, where not only is your investment taken care of from an analytical perspective, but even the regular monitoring of it is also like through a very high quality tool which is used institutionally by a lot of asset managers, by wealth advisors. And this is what the capabilities of Aladdin are, including all the things which Mark talked about from a wealth checkup perspective as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, gentlemen. You just cleared all my doubt. I got educated like sitting here right now. Congratulations on your joint venture. Thank you so much for speaking to us. It was a pleasure to have you on our channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Aastha.
Thanks for having us.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.